So I decided to make this video because I'm gonna start a little series and just kind of tracking my treatment. I found out on June 16th that I have cervical cancer, and the reason I got cervical cancer is because when I was 18, I really found out that I had the HPV virus, because back in years ago when I was younger, we didn't have a vaccine that we could take, and I honestly did not even know about it, never heard about it. It's not something they talked about in school when you went through your human life class, and they talked about sexually transmitted diseases. I don't remember it ever coming up and knowing anything about it. Turns out many people I know have it. It's way more common. That's why they came up with a vaccine, and that's why now preteens, boys and girls, are getting them, because boys can get it and have it and transmit it and not know that they're transmitting it. So anyway, the point is I had it, and because of that, though I've had clean pap smears from the time after I found out that I had it, over the last 34 years, I've had nothing but clean pap smears. But it turns out, because I have the HPV virus in my system, I got cervical cancer. And the HPV virus is almost 100% the main cause of cervical cancer in women. Not that men get cervical cancer, but anyway, but that's beside the point. So my reason for wanting to video this and start this series, so to speak, is because I wanted people to know about it, because I didn't know. And I know there's probably other people that have had the HPV virus, and from what I hear from some people I know, they were told that they got it and it would just go away on its own. But if that's the case, then how did I end up with cervical cancer when I've had clean pap smears for so many years? Now, I didn't ask my doctor that, and I probably will this coming week when I see the doctor, because I want to know. But what I did ask my doctor is, because I got this cancer from the HPV virus, and that's not going to go away, could I get cancer again? They said it's not very likely, but it could. Of course, they can't say with 100% certainty because they're not, psychics. But they said that it could, but not very likely. Also, they seem to think that this is curable. Like, once I finish my chemo and radiation, this should clear up everything. It should be good. So I'm pretty hopeful about that. And honestly, I'm just not even worrying. Whatever happens, happens. And I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, obviously, I have some side effects, which is a whole other thing I wanted to talk about. So I had been taking some medicine for diabetes. Ozempic is one of them. And one of the side effects are stomach issues. And some of my other medicines are too. So I was getting stomach aches, and I just didn't feel like my stomach just didn't feel right. And I just kind of figured it was my medicine, and I'd already talked to the doctor about that. We had changed it, and I just kind of dismissed it. I mean, it was annoying, but I never really thought anything about it. I just took some medicine for the symptoms and just kind of figured it'll go away. Never in a million years thought that could be a symptom of something else. Also, I wasn't having bleeding, which is one of the most common things. I've had abnormal periods, so there was nothing unusual in regard to that. So I just had no clue. And so then when I finally met with my oncologist and they started asking me questions, they asked me if I had any the issues, like stomach issues and this and that. And I was like, yes. And then they told me those are some common side effects. And I was totally blown away, because I never in a million years would have guessed that. Also, when I looked up online on common side effects, mostly they just talk about bleeding and painful sex and different things like that, none of which were issues for me. So I wanted to bring this up because there's probably people out there that also ignore symptoms like this. Side note, I've been talking to people that I know And turns out the stomach issues are also a common side effect of pancreatic cancer and colon cancer. And so many of us adults tend to ignore stuff like that and say, oh, I'm fine, just take over-the-counter medicine, not go see their doctor, put it off, wait and wait and wait. At least 2 people that I know have family members who ignored all the symptoms, and then when it finally got so bad that their spouse or a family member forced them to go to the doctor, they already had stage 4 pancreatic cancer or colon cancer. And once it's at that stage, you don't have a lot of hope for treatment. I mean, they'll treat you, but ultimately it's gone too far. So I say this in hopes that people will pay more attention and not ignore things, because I would never gone to the doctor because I had a stomach ache. Like, really, come on, so many things cause stomach aches. But when it's consistent over days and days and days, I mean, I thought, well, talking to my doctor about changing my medication was, I mean, something, at least I did that. But even my doctor wouldn't have thought, oh, we should check her for cancer. Fortunately, thank God, my doctor, because I changed doctors 3 times over the last few years, and it was my 3rd doctor that said, well, hey, when was your last physical? Because I hadn't had one in a few years. She had me do a physical and then sent me to a gynecologist to have my annual pap smear, which I hadn't had in 7 years, because one of my last doctors before I transferred had told me I could go 5 years in between, and then I just kind of forgot. And when I switched to my new doctor, I told her, and she didn't seem to think it was any big issue. She didn't have me do a physical, didn't have me do a pap smear, nothing. It was only when I finally changed to my current doctor that she was like, okay, you're doing a colonoscopy, you're doing this, you're doing that, I'm sending you here, I'm sending you there. Thank God she did, because had she not, I might have not found out until I was in a much higher stage. So they all seem hopeful, though, that they caught it early enough that I should be fine. So I wanted to just give a little bit of a backstory about that before I start doing videos of my actual treatment, like how it's going to affect me. I start chemo and radiation tomorrow. I know there will be side effects. Most of them are supposed to be nausea. That's one of the most common things about my treatment. The type of chemo that I'm going to take, the main thing is going to be nausea. So they gave me lots of different nausea medication. But I'm hopeful. I'm really trying not to worry about it. Most thing I was worried about is work. Like, how am I going to deal with not working? Because, yeah, I have to pay bills. But I figure at this point, what's going to happen is going to happen. I'm going to figure it out and work it out. But I just kind of wanted to share a little bit and tell people, please don't ignore your bodies. I know stomach aches are trivial, but if you keep getting them over and over and over and over again, go see your doctor and find out why. And also, as much as we as women hate pap smears, because who loves them? No one, except maybe crazy people. And mammograms. Don't ignore your doctor when they tell you to do them, because you could totally be risking your life. Side note, one of my best friends ignored her doctor several times when told to get a mammogram, and thank God, for whatever reason, she decided to do it because they found cancer, and thank God they were able to catch it, and she's okay. But pap smears, mammograms, they're there for a reason. So I will end with that, and I will see you guys in the next video.